There are currently two prominent fractions in Buddhism when it comes to the question of life after death. One is leaving the answer open, like some of the teachers in the Dogen Zenji tradition. Just be prepared to do your seizen. For others like the Tibetans, it is fundamental for their concept of the reborn Tulkus and Dalai Lamas. You will rarely find a Buddhist who definitely denies reincarnation. The reason mainly lies in the concept of a mind to which someone awakens which is not his but universal. Even those Buddhists who are aware of the Buddha's teachings of the Atman, self, as eternal and pure in sutras like the Mahayana Mahaparinirvana, regularly miss that there is no re in dropping one's ego, that the insight given in the non-substantiality and impermanence of the I that leads us through our earthly existence does not include any coming back of anything personal or individual, as all those features are empty shunyata. What is eternal naturally is free of impermanent features, so the nature of beings is that of an eternal Buddha nature that is not dependent on an individual biography and character flaws. The effects of deeds will not be directed on a certain rebirth that accumulates a personal, individual karma, but follow a rather chaotic way in accord with a thermodynamic law which states that energy within an isolated system is neither created nor destroyed. Thus, it is impossible to know a deceased through certain tests and discern him as a former Dalai Lama, as it is only the energy that survives and the individual characteristics do not, otherwise their nature would not be of emptiness. In Buddhist terms, it would actually be the unenlightened who returns and not the awakened one. Of course, this is not in line with the Pali Canon's teachings of hells and animal realms in which one could fall when doing, speaking, or even thinking wrong. One might cynically answer that those teachings were given to a rather dumb audience, as traditional Buddhists believe it is important to whom the Buddha spoke. Well, if it was, you could forget about studying the Pali Canon at all because he surely never spoke to you. In this blog, the Pali Canon is considered to be a work of literature, with facets of fiction and fairy tale, which one has to understand by historical critical exegesis and metaphorically. Metaphorical understanding does not mean that you project something into the Pali Canon that cannot have been there, as recently a monk Sujata did when asking Buddhists to support same-sex marriage but insisting that it would exclude minors, whereas in Shakyamuni's lifetime the marriage of what we consider today as children was as normal as much later in the times of a certain Muhammad and even during the Khmer Empire in Angkor. Interpreting scriptures does not justify enforcing modern views in an historical incorrect way. If you stick to a literal understanding and want to transmit it over the course of time, contradictions like the one above are common. Shakyamuni has just not spoken of many topics that dominate discussions today, be it sexual abuse, the internet, stem cell research, or organ donation. The answer has to be given by your own freed mind, not by quoting out-of-date data. A Buddha's achievement lies in providing a way of detachment from greed, hate, and illusions, from suffering. This way means awakening to a higher wisdom in the detection of a universal mind. Anything that a historical Shakyamuni said in terms of marriage, condemning adultery, which for not just a few people is the beginning of relief. Eating snakes are not a common dish in Europe. Sleeping on the ground is practiced until today widely in Asia. Although the same people who seem to follow a precept there do not hesitate to outsmart customers the other day in their market booths. Ordination, not allowed for effeminate homosexuals, the pandika, etc. are limited views developed at a certain place in a certain time. Linking an old understanding with a modern topic, if you want to know where the ethical dilemma of an attachment to reincarnation lies, just ask a Buddhist if he/she is an organ donator.